What's the one thing all college students should know? My parents told me they were covering everything. Tuition, room, board, the works. I never questioned it because they seemed proud and kept saying, just focus on your studies. Dad would always joke about eating ramen for months to afford my education. Mom would smile and pat his shoulder, saying it was worth every sacrifice. They'd send me care packages and always asked how classes were going. Sophomore year, I got called to the financial aid office. Thought it was routine paperwork. The advisor looked confused when I sat down. Your account shows some unusual activity. Are you aware your tuition is being paid by someone named Robert Chen? I had no idea who that was. My parents' names are Carol and David Miller. She pulled up my account on her computer screen. This person has been making payments since your freshman year. Large payments. Always on time. Always the exact amount due. She showed me the payment records. Every semester for 2 years, this Robert guy had been dropping $30,000 checks with my student ID number written in the memo line. Not just tuition either. Housing, meal plans, even my parking pass. Are you sure you don't know who this is? Maybe a wealthy uncle? A family friend? I shook my head, feeling confused. No, I've never heard this name before in my life. She printed out the payment history and handed it to me. You might want to ask your parents about this. I called my parents immediately. They got super defensive, saying it was probably just an administrative error. Dad even yelled at me for causing problems over nothing. Why are you digging into this stuff? Mom asked, her voice shaky. Just be grateful your education is paid for. But who is Robert Chen? Long pause. We don't know. Maybe it's some scholarship thing the school messed up. That made no sense. Scholarships don't come from random people's personal checking accounts. I couldn't concentrate for the rest of the week. The checks were always signed by hand. Always included a note that said, for Tyler's education, from a friend. My roommate noticed I was acting weird. When I told him what happened, he suggested I just call the guy directly. Dude, his phone number's probably online. Just ask him why he's paying your tuition. I found Robert Chen's landscaping business online and called the number. A friendly voice answered. Chen Landscaping, this is Robert. Hi, this is Tyler Miller. I think you've been paying my college tuition? Complete silence for like 10 seconds. Tyler, he finally said, and his voice cracked. I've been hoping you'd call. Can we meet somewhere? This isn't really a phone conversation. 2 days later, I drove to a coffee shop an hour from campus. Robert was waiting at a corner table, nervous as hell. He looked like a regular middle-aged guy. Work clothes, calloused hands, genuine smile. He explained that he'd been friends with my parents in high school. Really close friends. When they were struggling financially and couldn't afford to send me to college, he'd stepped in to help. But why? I asked. That's like $120,000. You barely know me. Robert stared at his coffee cup. Tyler, there's something your parents should have told you years ago. He pulled out an old photo from his wallet. It was him with my parents at some high school event. Mom was holding a baby. Me, your